Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the A-Files podcast. Thanks so much for coming back. You know, I had to jump on here to talk about Kristi Noem's husband. Now, it's like, what is that saying? Pot calling the kettle black, black calling the kettle, yeah, pot calling the, it's literally, you cannot make this shit up if I tried. I couldn't make this shit up if I tried. Why? Because these people are literally so homophobic, transphobic, you name it. They're very vocal about it and very proud about it. But little did we know, just like every other case, they're within the community. And the thing is, I'm pro LGBTQ plus. I don't care. Add another letter. I don't care. Why? Because it's none of my business. I'm not going to police what other people do in their bedrooms or within their lifestyle. It means nothing to me, right? Like, if we're brutally honest, what people do behind closed doors means nothing to me. That's why I don't think we should be policing people's sexuality, gender, whatever you name it. And this is coming from a straight Black woman. I don't care. And the people that do care are the people that are closeted, in my opinion. So, with that being said, I want to talk about what happened because I think we need to shame these people. Why? Because they shame others. And I'm in my era of tit for tat. Listen, I'm unemployed, no healthcare. I have nothing to lose, honey. I don't care. So I'm going to shame them just as much as they shame us. They're taking money from us, first of all. They're taking money from us. Kristi Noem, you all know she got fired. Do you want to know why she got fired? Because she misused our tax funds, not because of the ICE raids, not because of the killings of Keith Porter, Alex Preddy, Renee Good, and more, by the way. There's a handful of people that have already died in these detention regime centers. Centers is a prison. And as a human, I'm about sick of it. I'm just so sick of this Trump regime. They are disgusting. They are vile people. And I'm going to be shaming every single one of them because they are pedophile protectors. They steal money from us. Oh, Kristi Noem, just going back to that, my point. Kristi Noem spent $35,000 of our money on her hair and makeup for one commercial. How does that work? And she spent over $2 million on one commercial about ice. Remember the commercial where she's on that horse? Actually, better yet, since we paid for it, I'm going to put it in this video. This video right here.
Why do I love these wide open spaces? They remind me of why our forefathers came here. Not just for its beauty, but for the freedom only America provides. I'm Kristi Noem. From the cowboys who tamed the West, to the titans who built our cities, to the dreamers who chased the impossible, America has always rewarded vision and grit. Our greatness calls people to us for a chance to prosper, to live how they choose, to become part of something special. Anyone who searches for freedom can always find a home here, but that freedom's a precious thing, and we defend it vigorously. You cross the border illegally, we'll find you. Break our laws, we'll punish you. Harm American citizens, there will be consequences. But if you come here the right way, your American dream can be as big as these endless skies. From President Trump and me, welcome home.
That video right there was worth $200 million. Just, you can't make it up. In addition to all of the ICE bullshit in Minneapolis, in Ohio, they're terrorizing everywhere. Maine, they're terrorizing the streets, even here in LA. And now, the best scandal that could have ever happened literally fell into all of our laps because of who? The Daily frickin' Mail. So the Daily Mail on March 31st, the end of the month and bill day, decided they wanted to grace us as the money was leaving our wallet with this Kristi Noem scandal. The Daily Mail got a whole exclusive of Kristi Noem's husband's secret double life of cross-dressing. I just want to also point out that these pictures are very graphic. So if you have sensitive eyes and if you're sensitive to sexual material, and if you're definitely sensitive to anything this Trump regime does that's just absolutely vile, I guess everything, then the pictures won't be for you. But this was the headline. I don't actually have subscription to it, but this is what they did. Okay, so this is the first picture here. Wow, Brian Noem. Apparently he shared this picture with a woman who I'll go into later that is coming out to shed some light on what Brian's been doing in his free time. So this is one photo that the Daily Mail obtained, and as you can see, he has big, big boobs. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. I love it. I love this for Brian because I think that this is his. Look at the pout. This is him to a T. There we. Oh no, this is the pout right here, right? This is the pout right here. Look at him. And the outfit, I think he's wearing leggings. And the thing is, people might think I'm mean, but you have to remember these people stole from us. They also withheld our SNAP money. So there's a lot of children that have gone hungry here in the United States. They've killed Americans. What else? Raped and, well, they may have not, but they have been pedophile protectors. Anybody that supports this administration, you're just a vile piece of shit. So we're absolutely going to shame you. And this is the husband that stuck behind the woman. And I would absolutely just love to know what his skeletons are. Love the politics. I mean, he can do it better than me. That's real. Oh. Okay, so we're getting a little graphic. This is a lot. That's a lot. Mm-hmm. And so that's Kristi Noem and her husband, and they're dressed up as like the Statue of Liberty. And what's that one thingy? Tom, Uncle Tom. He's the biggest Uncle Tom, and he look. Oh, honey, did we all know? That's the thing. I don't want to come across that I'm shaming this man because I believe that he should be who he wants to be. I do. Be whoever you want to be. It's just the hypocrisy for me. These people say that trans people are ruining America. These people are saying there's so many trans people in sports. I have yet to where's that at? But yet in that White House, we still have the Epstein class running around free. And so let's just get right into it. I know I've just went on a whole whirlwind for 10 minutes, but this is just so juicy to me. So Brian Noem, the husband of the former Department of Homeland Security, because she got fired, now she's like the special envoy for something nobody knows, has allegedly been cross-dressing and messaging sex workers who specialize in bimbofication to turn him into a girl, according to the Daily Mail. And so I'm like, what's bimbofication? Like, what is that? And so I went to my trusted little AI and I looked at what is bimbofication. I said bimbofication is what? Leave me alone. Bimbofication is often a digital subculture kink fetish that involves transforming oneself into a stereotypical hyper-feminine bimbo persona. Kind of like his wife, right? Kind of like his wife in Pam Bondi. Isn't that interesting? So this persona is typically characterized and exaggerated in features such as heavy makeup. We saw that. Cartoonish clothing. I mean, he had the boobs the size of his 5 heads. And in many cases, enhanced breasts and lips to emulate a Barbie doll look. Wow. I don't know any of these kinks, honestly. I'm so vanilla. I'm honestly such a vanilla, boring, traditional life. I need to be more like Brian. What's going on? What's like the woman version? So shout out to him. Listen, I'm not trying to shame a kink for real. Like, you do what you need to do. I think it's strange. I can absolutely think it's strange. You do what you want to do in your own bedroom. Why? Because you have the right to do that. But you also, Brian and Kristi Noem, vote and preach hate and negativity towards this community. So I'm absolutely going to talk shit about you. So let's keep going. Oh, and also, I got a lot of my sources from them. The article, them, it's a LGBTQ plus. I think it's actually trans friendly. It's a trans owned article, website, I believe, but they got the tea. So in hundreds of messages reviewed by the Daily Mail, the 56-year-old Brian allegedly shown messages of sex workers who specialize in bimbofication. We know what that means now. Or a type of roleplay fetish. According to the publication, Brian messaged 3 sex workers that he enjoyed their huge, ridiculous boobs and sent over $25,000 to them. In one of those photos included in the report, he appears to be wearing large makeshift breasts made of balloons, like the size of balloons, under each peach crop top. Oh, we saw those ones. In one of the messages, actually, let me show you so we can read this together so y'all don't think it's crazy, because this is kind of the wildest shit I've ever heard. This is the wildest shit because it's like them, So in one of the messages, Brian Noem told the sex worker, "You turned me into a girl," and then asked, "Should I put on leggings?" Obviously he did, period. I love this for him, but I hate him. You know what I mean? What a fucking hypocrite. What a hypocrite. Okay. So the text messages were very explicit, so Brian could be who he wants. And you know what? I'm not here to condemn the cross-dressing term just like them article. No. Explore your agenda, honey. That's the whole point. We live in the United States of America. You should be free to be whoever you want to be. Just don't be an asshole like you and your current wife. I just want to also talk about why this is insane to me is because Kristi Noem is the biggest like loser ever. Not only with all the ICE stuff, but with her like anti-gay, with her anti-LGBTQ plus stuff, because she was the governor of South Dakota, as I mentioned earlier. And she signed a bill called the Religious Freedom Restoration Act that allowed people to discriminate against LGBTQ plus people in her home state of South Dakota. And it would be under the disguise of religious freedom. So they would ban trans girls from participating in women's sports, which yet I need to, like, where is this happening? Okay. Where is this happening? And then they also banned gender affirming care for trans youth, which has been a big topic here in the United States for like over a decade. We little did we know they're using that to cover up the Epstein class, who's doing exactly what they're preaching. Just to name, and so that's just a few of her anti-LGBTQ policy points. But in particular, with her ICE, when she was the ICE customs enforcement person, she would conduct mass deportations on what advocates have called state-sponsored kidnapping, as we know. But within the state-sponsored kidnapping, there were vulnerable LGBTQ plus migrants, such as Andrei Hernandez Romero, who was a gay Venezuelan asylum seeker who was sent to a concentration camp in El Salvador. I also just want to point out, it's really important we say asylum seeker because under the law, asylum seekers have a life here, have a right here. So Trump doesn't give a fuck, basically. I agree with what this article says, that everybody, including Brian, should have the free to express their gender. But he's a piece of shit, right? It's the hypocrisy. So now that we know what's kind of the background story of little Brian, who's been doing this for years, by the way, I want you to know that Kristi Noem, a spokesperson for Kristi Noem, came out and said, Miss Noem is devastated. The family was blindsided by this, and they're asking for privacies and prayers at this time. You get absolutely none of that, Kristi Noem, because you didn't give any of that to the families that you terrorized, the American families that you terrorize and continue to terrorize within this administration. There's no thoughts and prayers. There's no privacy because you're an asshole. And this is exactly what you get for everything you have done to this community, with everything you've done to us Americans, terrorizing the streets of Minneapolis. We'll never forget it. We'll never forgive and we'll never forget. I'm sorry. At least on this freaking podcast, I'm not doing it. So as you know, where we're at now is with Kristi Noem, at least, the senator from Oklahoma, Mark Wayne Mullen, who's an absolute freaking idiot, and he tried to get in a fight with someone on the Senate floor. He's now replaced her as the head of Homeland, the head of ICE, whatever it is, you know? So I want to talk about the fallout, right? And I want to talk about the fallout within the MAGA and Republican base, as well as just like general concerns, because the fact that nobody knew that the head of Secretary of Homeland Security, what was her fucking title again? Secretary of Homeland Security's husband was a cross-dresser doing multiple things behind the scenes, spending tens of thousands of dollars, doing all these, which is very suspicious, right? That nobody knew. Because in order to be the head of Homeland Security, you were supposed to have a lot of vetting. Your family is supposed to be vetted to a T. Nobody caught that. And that is actually like a topic of conversations because national security experts said that former CIA officer Mark Hollenporpus told the newspaper Daily Mail that if journalists could find this information, hostile intelligence services likely already had it, particularly given that Kristi Noem had been running one of the most sensitive agencies in the federal government, which is ICE. It's just like, what is next? You know what I mean? Pam Bondi just got fired, so I wonder if her husband's up to some shit. So let's just take a look and go down memory lane of what's everyone saying? So when the Daily Mail came out, Piers Morgan, of course, little chatterbox, came out and said, WTF. Megyn Kelly's response, oh, because the family dog in one of the photos is in the back of when Brian has his big boobs on. Kind of crazy. So Megyn Kelly was really interesting because she said she feels for Kristi Noem. She goes, I feel for Kristi Noem. It puts a totally different spin on the affair she's allegedly having with Corey Lewandowski. Could you blame her? It feels almost noble at this point. I mean, it's not like it. I mean, like it's not noble. They're both married and have children and all the bit. But I'm just saying it definitely gives a different look because you never know what's going on in someone's marriage. Now I'll get to what she's saying, suggesting she didn't know. So I guess technically it wouldn't justify the affair. But even if you don't you know as a wife? Good point, actually. Don't you know? So, like, Kristi Noem saying she's blindsided, although it's hypocrisy from Megyn because they're so anti, like, all this stuff. Isn't it interesting? And then there was Trump's response. As you saw, as you saw at the beginning of the video, there was Trump's response. Trump was shocked. He also was just like, oh, they confirmed it? Wow. Well, I feel bad for the family. If that's the case, that's too bad. I haven't seen anything. I don't know anything about it. That's too bad. But I just don't know nothing about it. He seems to say that so much. He knows a lot about nothing. So Kristi Noem and the family are blindsided by this. So I want to talk about the model. So everyone's blindsided, thoughts and prayers. And so I want to talk about the quick model. So I saw on Instagram that the Times put out a post saying the model was paid $25 a minute to talk dirty with Kristi Noem's cross-dressing husband. And earlier this week, so they kind of recap it. They've been married for 34 years. And so the website claimed that Brian had chatted online with a woman who's a part of the bimbofication scene. So it's a role-playing kink that people pay for. And one of the webcam models that was talking to Brian said, quote, I definitely remember his face, but there's no way I could forget the fake boobs. They are big though, aren't they? They are big. So that was the webcam model coming out and confirming all the suspicions. I know everyone's like, this is so bizarre. Why do we need to know this? We absolutely do. I'm sorry. They shame us every day. They shamed immigrants. We're going to shame them right back. They shamed the LGBTQ plus community. And as an ally, I'm not standing for it. No, not for me. So the husband came out with a response according to AOL. Remember AOL? I used to have the instant messenger. So he had a very bizarre response, and Brian Noem came out saying, I will at some point, quote, by the way, I will at some point, today is not the day. I appreciate your heart. He wrote in a check exchange with a New York Times reporter. Oh, so I guess the New York Times reporter reached out. I can't wait for his statement because that's going to be really telling. He really can't deny it at this point. And if you're a part of the community, hon, just own it. This is a wild picture right here. Wild. I'm not going to lie to you. As I do this video, I do have a little guilt talking about it because this does go against everything I sort of believe in, the shaming and all that stuff. But ever since Trump became president for his second time, I said everything's out the window. As this Epstein class that these people protect these fucking pedophiles, murderers, rapists, I don't care. Yeah, and they're robbing us blind. So it's so insane to me. It's like poetic justice. I love it. Oh, last thing. They're saying that an immigrant leaked it. If that is true, that is the best revenge in the world. And I'm so here for that type of petty. Fuck it. Who cares? Okay. All right. I'll be back for more and we're going to keep the pulse. Thanks for listening. Bye.